Hey guys, this is a completely unscripted video, but I kind of wanted to just get my blind thoughts out there on Sephiroth being in Smash Brothers. This is an interesting development. Nobody expected Sephiroth, except for the people who don't really pay attention to patterns. See, Smash Brothers development has a pattern of not really getting too many third-party characters from one series in a game. For example, Sonic only has one representative. Street Fighter has two, but Ken is technically an Echo Fighter of Ryu. I believe Castlevania does that as well. So to have a brand new fighting style from Final Fantasy, even though we already have one, is fairly peculiar. Also, I'm not going to get into the politics of it much, but for those of you whining, anime sword fighter, oh no, what about Sora? What about Sora? Really? Really? Sora is drawn by the same guy who draws Sephiroth. Ergo, if Sephiroth's an anime sword fighter, Sora is too. He uses the Keyblade like a blade. Oh, weird how that works. Anyway, Sephiroth is an absolute fun character. I love the way you could unlock him early through boss fights. That was so cool. And I love his classic mode. More or less, his classic mode is a boss rush, because he's a boss, so he gets to fight the boss. You know what I'm saying? But probably the best couple of extra things to come with Sephiroth is that Cloud now has the Omnislash they did in Advent Children. And that's interesting because it only works on one costume, but it would be kind of weird if his original Final Fantasy VII costume actually did it too. But it's cool. It's a nice, neat little touch that gives Cloud a bit of extra detail because he has the Advent Children costume in Smash Brothers. He's had it for a while now. And now he also has a signature Omnislash from that movie in Smash Brothers 2, and that's really cool. That's free. I'm pretty sure it's free with the update, so there you go. And Sephiroth also brings in a lot of music. Now, Final Fantasy only had 2 tracks originally associated with it. So, when you buy Sephiroth, now there's 11 tracks associated with it. A lot of One-Winged Angel, Genova. Genova's an awesome track, by the way. I might have never played Final Fantasy VII yet, but Genova's definitely a music track that I really enjoy. One-Winged Angel is a track that I really enjoy. The music is really good this time around, guys. Meanwhile, Sephiroth's stage it's okay. It's got a lot going on in the background, and it looks really cool, but the stage itself is just Final Destination with some battlefield platforms located at the sides. And that's about it. It's just a platform layout. So it's not really doing much on the foreground where you're actually fighting. I know a lot of people prefer that kind of thing due to competitive natures. But me personally, I like it when there's a little bit of a stage gimmick, you know. But hey, there's a movie playing in the background. So, I mean, at least I got that. It's a lot like Final Destination in my opinion, because in Final Destination, there's not a lot going on the platform itself, but you got a lot going on in the background, so that's really cool. And the spirit battles. I'm going to bring these up real quick. They just released 2 days ago when you guys are getting this video. And I managed to beat them all with Sephiroth. I did not record myself doing that, but all of this footage that you're seeing is pre-update. But I still managed to beat every single one of them, including the legendary boss with Sephiroth. So that's cool. I might actually be able to main as Sephiroth, because normally I can't beat legendary battles without my main character, and that would be Bowser. So to say that I'm, liking Sephiroth's moveset is an understatement. I love it. It's so fun to use. It can be kind of abused if you are charging up magic, but his charge up is really slow, and he's basically stuck going in one direction. So if you can get behind him, It's a nightmare to deal with if you're actually playing as Sephiroth. Also, he has one winged mode, so if you're having a challenge, if you're having a hard time fighting somebody, when he hits that mode, he boosts quite a bit in power. It's pretty noticeable, to where most of his sword attacks are pretty much in kill range by that point in time. And his aerial up sword is pretty devastating anyway. But for the most part, his sword attacks don't do too much damage. If you can get somebody caught roughly in the middle of the blade, it's pretty damaging. But for the most part, there's not a whole lot of pushback. It's his magic that you're going to be looking out for. His Final Smash, his Supernova. I love the callback because Supernova's like has this huge, grandiose animation, and Smash Brothers basically puts a really, really sped up version of that into Smash Brothers. It's really sped up. It looks really cool. Supernova, come on. But yeah, it looks really cool. It has a random status ailment if the person survives, so that's really cool. It's just a great Final Smash all around. And it looks really cool because it's the final boss fight from Final Fantasy VII kind of showing up. Which is a different form of Sephiroth. So then, the rest of Sephiroth's moveset, he has two magical abilities that are pretty devastating. One is where he basically surrounds the foe with homing attack. They're just little fireballs that surround the foe. You can add more to them. I think you can get up to like 6 of them. And if you hit an opponent off the stage before they hit, and they manage to hit while the opponent's off the stage, it's almost a guaranteed kill. It's disgusting. But it's hard to actually set up correctly too. So, like, if you're really good at setting that up, you're going to be really devastating as Sephiroth. As for the other move, it's his just standard B move. I don't know the names to these moves. I know they're spells from Final Fantasy. I know the references to Final Fantasy. I just don't happen to know the names right offhand. But this move, he basically charges it up. And the longer he charges it, the closer range it's going to be. So, like, you can have a smaller one and shoot it really far. Or you can have a really devastating one. And it's really strong, but it's really close range too. So you can kind of aim it judging on, how things are going to aim. It takes forever to charge up, though, and that's the one that's really hard to kind of hit back. As for his recovery move, he's got a lot of recovery when he's, in winged form. But he also has his up B move. It took me a little bit to get used to it, but it's actually pretty fun. It's basically a flurry of slashes, and you can charge it up and go longer, but when you're charging it up, it's not as good of a recovery move because you are falling while you're charging it. But I think you are anyway. I don't know. I really didn't mess with it a whole lot. I didn't have reason to mess with it a whole lot because mostly I, have him in classic mode. I played a little bit of him with my friends, but for the most part, when, push came to shove, it took me a little while to get used to even aiming it at that point. So what do I know, right? But overall, Sephiroth is a really fun character. I highly recommend checking him out if you have the Fighter's Pass. Definitely give this one a try. And if you don't have the Fighter's Pass, well, so far, I like Min Min. I like Sephiroth. I'm not the biggest fan of Minecraft Steve, but he's got an okay playstyle. It's fun, but it's really gimmicky at the same time, and like, even now, I still really don't care for it. But his stage is cool, so I guess that works out somehow. But Sephiroth, definitely worth a look into, because he is the legit, one of the most popular gaming villains of all time. In fact, for those of you asking for Sora, Sephiroth is technically in Kingdom Hearts. So, if you know who Sora is, you should know who Sephiroth is too. Just saying that right now. But, yeah, overall, I highly recommend Sephiroth. He's super fun to play. He devastates boss fights, which is why that's all of his classic mode is just boss fights. And he's pretty fun to deal with, or to fight against, as well as fight with in normal battles. He's got a few characters that are totally up against him, like, oh yeah, oh dear. But most of the characters he does pretty well at. Some of the characters he devastates, so it is what it is. He's not super overpowered, but if you're good with him, it can be really devastating. And I don't know, personally, I've found that I'm pretty good with him. I don't know if he's going to be like a main to replace, Bowser, but I'm pretty decent with him so far. So maybe he's not really hard to, be a main. I don't know. Maybe I'm just really good with his up-front play style, because I'm more of a direct fighter. I'm not really one of the fighters who, uses fancy dodging and fancy moves. I just like a up-front, really direct character, which is why I play as Bowser. And Sephiroth kind of matches that. So if that's your type of character, by all means, grab him. I'm good with Min Min too, actually, now that I think about it. Of all the DLC characters, Min Min, Sephiroth, and I'm decent with Banjo, but he's too easy to kill. Anyway. Have a good time, guys. And next time I talk about DLC, I'm probably going to go back into Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, because it's going to be a little bit, because I'm really busy. I'm really swamped with other videos right now. I'm trying to catch up for when my thumb was messed up, you know what I mean? But, yeah. I'm working on really catching up with a lot of my videos, a lot of my work that I'm trying to do. But Bloodstained Ritual of the Night has another DLC character and a new mode that I really want to check out. So, yeah. I'm probably going to do another video on that one. So, stay tuned. Next time. Take care, all that jazz, and have a happy holidays. If you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. If it's Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah. I know it's a little late for that one, but there you go. And if it's Kwanzaa, please explain to me what Kwanzaa is, but for the most part, have a happy Kwanzaa too, okay? All right. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.